Hello and welcome to Geoscope on Hughes the World. I'm Graham Hughes. How you all doing this evening? I hope you're all feeling okay, or at least a little bit fruity. We've got Puninator in the chat. We've got Martin Harrow even. We've got Simon Smith. We've got Richard. We've got One Angry Pagan in the chat as well. Always good to see One Angry Pagan. We've got Diz. Yay, we've got Diz. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, just hit the word subscribe underneath this video or next to this video or on top of this video or however you're watching this video. If you can see a subscribe thing, hit the subscribe thing and you can join in with the chat. You can watch it on TV and have the chat up on your phone and you can chat and watch it on TV. Otherwise, it's a bit hard to send a message via your remote control. Ollie Bowlerhatman is on his way. Should be here soon. So until he turns up, you got me on me Billy Lonesome. So anyway, Ukraine has launched more than 600 drones towards Moscow and surrounding areas overnight, according to a Russian account. This is kind of crazy. Kyiv has increasingly targeted Russian military industry, energy infrastructure, and logistics far behind the enemy front line. Front line as it stands, and this follows fresh attacks on Russian attacks that have killed at least 10 civilians in Ukraine. And Zelensky has made it very clear that Ukraine will respond. Now, meanwhile, Russia's been threatening Britain again, and I know we covered this a little bit last night on the Stateside show, but it's worth reiterating that Moscow has said that Britain will face unspecified consequences after reports that British-made drones were used to strike mainland Russia. I'm just thinking, maybe that's bullshit. Maybe that's bullshit. But if it isn't, and they interfere in our politics, they interfere in our democracy, they scam an election, scam a referendum. Maybe we won't do anything about it. Yeah, maybe. But Russia has accused London of deliberately escalating the conflict that Russia started by invading their neighbour. Work that one out. Hi, Sarah. Sarah's in the chat. Hi, Saz. How you doing over there? Perineum is in the chat as well. The Trump admin has pulled lower support for the Arctic report, which has contributed to since 2006. Yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of data sets that the Trump administration has deleted or amended to make it look like drilling for oil and gas is a good thing. This is what happens when the fuckers get in charge. But at least Hillary didn't win, eh? At least Hillary didn't win, because she would have been even worse somehow. And that what was it, Biden? Oh yeah, but all those terrible wars that Biden started, eh? Or none of them. Hi, Graham. Where's the bowler hat ... man? Well, where's the bowler hat man is what you should be asking. I don't know. Ollie texted me to say it'd be a bit late coming on the show. We've got I've done that thing. I've got a gig. I've got a gig next week, and I've got a few on the week after next. I've got a spare ticket for it. It's a really cool gig. So I've written to a bunch of mates saying, "Do you want to come to this gig with me?" And then as I've gone online, obviously they've all written back to me going, "Yes!" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm going to take one of yous." Maybe we'll have to have some kind of Hunger Games thing to decide who wins. Have a moment for Putin's protege in the UK, Mr. Frodage of Clacton. His boss is getting his ass kicked. Yeah. Putin's little whipping boy, Nigel Farage. Good little Nigel. Consequences. Russia are sending their major weapons over. Yep, another visit from Trump. He is a major weapon. Very good. I like that, Richard. The Burnham has said, the British Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, that still sounds very fresh and new to say, doesn't it? He said the threat will not change British support for Ukraine. Britain has previously supplied Kyiv with weapons capable of striking Russian-held territory. The political significance here is the reported use inside Russia itself. But, if you don't want people to fire drones at you, maybe don't bomb the country. Israel. All those countries working with the US against Iran. You don't want them to fucking fire rockets at you and blow your shit up with. Maybe just don't bomb them. Maybe just don't give them an excuse to do that. You know? But there you go. There you go. So yeah. Also, Russia has been accused of trying to weaponize winter. This is something that I spoke about this morning, actually. Ukraine has said that Russia has begun another campaign against energy infrastructure ahead of winter, which doesn't surprise me. But it's another case of Russia really going all in on the whole war crimes thing. You know, there's legitimate military targets in war, airfields and fuel depots and things like that. But when you got a power station that's powering a city full of innocent human beings, blowing that up is a war crime. You know, it's a war crime because it could lead to the deaths of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of people as a result of a particularly cold winter in Ukraine. That's what will happen. Graham, thoughts on Trump, North Korea, South Korea, social post? Just when you think he can't shock you anymore. Pollinator, I mean, were you shocked? Were you shocked though? I mean, this is the guy who literally said that he's got a lot of time for Putin. He's got a lot of time for Kim Jong-un. He's got time for the Taliban. He invited the Taliban over to come into America. This is when the Taliban weren't in charge of Afghanistan. He did a secret deal with them in Camp David to take over. What were you expecting? You know, the guy loves a tyrant. The guy loves someone who kills their own people because that's what he wants to do, to keep them in line. You know, so they don't look at him funny and make fun of the fact that he shits himself, which he does quite a lot. But yeah, it's really quite grim. What the stuff that's come out of not the stuff that's coming out. North Korea is currently attacking Europe via Russia, and this is why it's so ironic that the Russians are so ironic. I mean, it's not ironic, is it? It's just so hypocritical, isn't it? The Russians going, hey, why is Britain supplying Ukraine with weapons? Like, well, North Korea's supplying you with weapons, you asshole. But yes, just saying that Kim Jong-un is not happy that the US signed, agreed to participate. The US agreed to participate in joint military exercises. How bloody dare they? How bloody dare they? And Trump, in response, said he's going to reduce military drills because North Korea asked him to. Kim Jong-un picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Trump, tell you what, you stop those joint military exercises with South Korea. And don't forget, the Korean War's not over. It's never finished. There's never been there's only a ceasefire. There's never been a peace treaty between the two sides. They're still technically at war. The Korean War is still going on, technically speaking." Hi, Kimberly, by the way. Hi, Kimberly. AXXXXXXX934. How you doing? North Korea is also supplying them with troops, says Davinator. Yes, it is. Thousands of troops who are all bloody dying. It's all really quite grim. But it just because South Korea had recently declined to join with the US in the denuclearization. Could you imagine Trump trying to say that word? The denuclearization of Iran. Because of that, because it didn't join his stupid, daft foreign military adventure in Iran, which everyone else has just looked at and gone, ew. No, I'm not touching that with a shitty stick. I'm just a bit worried because last year on my birthday, February 28th, that was the day that Trump had when Zelensky was in the Oval Office and Trump and JD Vance and all those cunts got ganged up on him, remember? That was on the 28th of February. And this year on the 20th of February, he started bombing Iran. So what's he going to do on my birthday next year? I don't know. It's just, what the hell is wrong with him? Anyway, and Trump cited his good relationship with Kim Jong-un. Yeah, so I'm not surprised. I don't want to sound arrogant when I say that. I'm like, I saw that coming a mile away. You know, I can't get into specifics when I predict the future, but is Trump going to do something incredibly cunty every day until he dies? Yes. what particular cunty thing he's going to do. I don't know, but he will do one. He will until he does one. Until he does do one, the big one. Cannot wait, my friends. Tau mata what katakatokoyo tamatu tulok pakpak piki makahuru nuk pokya when tanatuhu, says Jenny Robinson, which sounds like half the name of a place in New Zealand, which tells the story of Taumata, who was a person with a split penis who played the nose flute. That's what she just wrote. That's what Jenny just wrote about someone with a split penis who played the nose flute. Don't know why you're telling me about that on the show, but you're impressed with my Maori, aren't you? He'll probably declare war on the moon for their cheese. He'll probably declare moon on the war for their cheese. Terminator. Yeah, he'll watch A Grand Day Out with Wallace and Gromit, and he'll be like, cheese in that. Then again, Americans can't do cheese, can they? Cheese and chocolate. And being decent people by the looks of things. Speaking of Russia, let's discuss the Lotto, a leader of the opposition being in prison for 11 plus years, and the protests which have sprung up in Moscow, seemingly in response. Yes, so there was a leader of the opposition, as far as the opposition is allowed to be the opposition in Maoist, Stalinist, Putinist Russia. The Jenny's off at it. Well, this is me when I superglued my hand to my forehead. Hey, it's Ollie Bowlerhatman has arrived. Now, I might need to do some audio checking. So, can I get a quick 1-2 off you there? Oh, that says your name's come up as Mike Dix. That's no good. Just let me just change that. It came up twice as Mike Dix because I don't know what's going on there. Let me just change that. So, Ollie Bowlerhatman. There you go. And now your name should come up normally, like a normal person. There you go. Yorkshireman, it says. Yorkshireman. Now, I need to do something to get your audio working. So just give me one moment. But in that moment, Ollie, if you want to help me, you could tell me something. You could tell me what you had for breakfast this morning.
Had for breakfast this morning? Porridge, I think.
Porridge,
just
okay.
Boring, yeah.
Okay, can I just ask the people at home, did you hear what Ollie had for breakfast this morning? If you heard what he had for breakfast this morning, please put it in the chat, and then we will have an affirmative code that we know that the audio is working. I think it is working. Okay, Ollie, how you doing, mate?
I'm all right. Doing well.
We were talking about one of your favorite topics. We were talking about Russia and Ukraine and North Korea.
Oh, yeah.
And Trump saying he's on the side of North Korea now. I've decided... I believe you're a fascist now, Father. Oh, no, yes, I am. Yeah, I believe you've joined the North Koreans, Mr. Trump. Yes, they're the right people. Porridge, loud and clear. Porridge. Excellent. Good stuff.
Yeah, we know it's working.
So, yeah, we were talking about I didn't mention the attack on the Wildberries site, which happened this weekend, just 60 kilometers, I think, south of Moscow, and this has really freaked out a lot of Russians, hasn't it? Because they're like,
yeah, they keep on striking a lot of these Wildberries supply houses, and this is, people forget because Amazon's a good example because it is like Russia's Amazon. Wildberries itself is not, shall we say, owned by someone like Jeff Bezos in is Amazon cases. It's owned by Russian oligarchs, and they could pretty much control this. We talked a couple of months ago back, if you remember, about the Chechen blood feud, where they went and killed one of like the CEOs during like a business meeting. Because of that, things are a bit odd, shall we say, with the ownership structure of Wildberries compared to Amazon. But most of it, of course, is owned by the Kremlin. Why, of course, Ukraine is striking Wildberries is because it has those Kremlin connections, because they are now starting to house Russian army supplies and things like that in these giant Wildberries warehouses. So these have now become sort of a legitimate target for Ukraine.
Yeah.
But of course, alongside that, just as you have in Amazon in the UK, you can go to Amazon and say, I want to use your platform to sell my stuff.
Yeah.
So when you go on Amazon, you log in and you search for spatula, and there's your spatula wrong, like the millions of other spatulas that you can, of course, buy. Now, what happens is when Wildberries has been attacked, not only has it destroyed those military supplies as well, it has also destroyed hundreds of thousands of other worth of merchandise products
Yeah.
that are owned, of course, by other Russians. And according to some of this, the stuff coming out about the insurance, none of this was insured. So if there
Oh
was ever
fucking
a
hell!
warehouse
Really?
fire, yep.
Oh my god!
So this is this.
Sorry.
So all this stuff
Oh
that
shit!
has gone up has cost billions,
Yeah.
billions of pounds that Russian businesses just are not going to get back.
Wowzers, trousers.
So
Well,
that is causing
Ollie,
a lot
yeah,
of problems, like for businesses, of course, if you use wild berries. That's why they are now, a lot of people are now desperately trying to get as much as their stock out of
yeah.
these wild berry warehouses as they can
OMG.
to alternative warehousing that they can sort of now use. But it's not going that well because it's incredibly bureaucratic
This is
to do.
this huge wildberries that went up. I'll put a picture up. So some wags on Google Maps have updated the pictures for the wildberries facility south of Moscow. So here you go. Wildberries. Isaac put a post up on Sunday of the facility on fire and wrote, "Hard to find a parking space since it burnt to the ground." I shouldn't laugh.
But
I know it's war and it's awful, but bloody what? We
But it
are, we
gets
are,
even
we
more
are just
worse.
the maddest talent. Before you tell us why it's gone worse, Andy Thompson, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Graham showing where he's from with his, he does the big one till he does the big one. Yeah, classic. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm definitely from Liverpool. Oh, fucking do the big one. We're talking about Trump, taking himself out at some point, doing the big one. Anyway, thanks very much to Andy Thompson there. Sorry, what were you going to say? What's the other?
So yeah, it gets worse.
Oh God.
Asset wise, because you've got to remember, Russia
Doesn't that get better for us though?
Through. well,
that's worse for the
about to
Russians.
find out.
Better for us. Go on.
So Russia's burned through all its massive oil reserve money that it's had for years.
Yeah.
It has burned through that throughout this entire war to a point now where no one really buys Russian oil except a very few other countries, and when they do, they buy it at a like massively reduced knockdown price. So it's not exactly good for the Russian economy because instead of selling like one barrel for what they used to sell, they now have to sell like 5 barrels to get the price of one barrel that they used to sell because they're selling it off at such a knockdown price because of all the oil sanctions and they're desperate to try and fund some of this stuff. They cannot keep that, of course, going forever on that front. We've now seen, of course, Ukraine strike the oil refineries. That has caused oil shortages in Russia, which again is a classically called a petrostate. For those of you who don't know what a petrostate is, it means it's got energy that supplies because it has so much of the natural resource to be able to sort of do that.
Usually like a mono, the word's not monoculture, but it's like a mono. It's only got one way of making money, really, and if that way goes tits up, then the whole country falls apart.
Yeah, and that is what is going absolutely, completely tits up at the moment. So, with all that going on, Putin is desperate now to start and try and find cash because the also thing you've got to throw into this as well is, first of all, the sign-up bonuses that to pay the troops on there, and the fact that obviously if you die in service, you then get a state Russian pension. Your widow would get a state Russian pension, or if you get injured, well, not that they are sending injured people back. There's been very infamous photos of like soldiers in wheelchairs, strapped into wheelchairs to be like pushed forward into like combat because that's how desperate they are to keep some of these people in fighting. Oh yes. Like Russia actually has like ghost divisions of like injured people where they sort of form them together of like all the wounded to sort of force them into fighting.
Yeah.
Now you're getting to a point where, as we said, Putin is desperate to get a hold of cash. And what has happened now, it started a bit of a panic in Russia, where a lot of people now are starting to withdraw their assets very heavily from a lot of the Russian banks. This is now causing a liquidation crisis, potentially within Russia, fueled by the,
Yeah.
again, rumors that Putin is going to start going around and seizing assets. Now, what exactly is he going to seize? Who knows? But it spooked a lot of Russians into doing this. So more
Shit.
problems, of course, there for Russia on that one.
Yeah.
So that's not good for him at all.
That's not good, man. That's not good. Jenny says, Mary had a little lamb. She tied to a pylon. He cocked his leg to have a piss and tied his wool to nylon. Thank you for that, Jenny. We've got one I think saying, I saw something, Wildberries' rivals in Russia are putting messages on the roof to the Ukrainians saying, please don't bomb us, we aren't Wildberries. But Simon made a good point here, actually, Ollie. Trump removed the Russian oil blocks when he fucked up on Iran. Now Putin is quid in. He is to a certain extent. I mean, I guess that threw him a bit of a lifeline, but long term,
Yeah, it's not like, you know,
spiral.
saved him. Yeah, it's not saved him.
We've talked about this though, haven't we? There's no way Russia can win this now.
Yeah, plus when you've got as well, we are now actually starting to seize like Russian oil ships.
Yeah.
Like we've started to do that now. So that is something that is very much once again putting the squeeze on Putin. There's more sanctions, I believe, now coming in from Europe as well. You know, tighten the screws constantly as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know, every moment on this one. And you just keep on tightening them. That's why, obviously, today, I think you've probably discussed it probably already. The threat from Russia about us supplying drones to them.
Drones. I was saying how ironic it is considering they get all this tech and also people from North Korea, which they're using to kill Ukrainians, which they're using to kill Europeans. And we're supposed to what? Just go, oh yeah, that's all right. He's
I'm kind of shocked that we already had, I think, you know, North Korea had sent something like 10,000, I think, troops already, couple of like over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And we saw them try to attack the Ukrainians. If you remember those really shocking photos of them, like literally single file line in a massive snake towards, you know, to attack the Ukrainians, and the Ukrainians were like, what on earth is this coming at us? To a point where the casualties got so bad, they have now been moved to behind the line to do like logistics on that one. And the rumor now is that they've now mobilized, or North Korea's mobilized even more troops to send to Russia on that, in return, of course, for more stuff from Russia, because North Korea is, of course, desperate for anything, honestly, at this point. So it will gladly, you know, Kim Jong-un will gladly send, you know, in, you know, his troops. But it's also good for him because then his troops get training potentially in modern combat, which maybe, as a lot of people have said, what if he decides to go for, you know, South Korea? We've just had an announcement because of how bad things have been going in Iran. I'm sure we'll get to talk about what's been going on the aircraft carrier in a moment, but because of how bad things have been going in Iran, they've now cancelled the war games in South Korea. Now, last time, of course, they majorly cancelled war games like this. There was a infamous speech that then followed, which then sort of at the time gave the North Koreans, or at least they thought they had the green light that they could invade South Korea and the Americans wouldn't come in and stop them. That, of course, started the Korean War. Again, technically the longest running war on the planet, because it's
still not over.
Finished.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did mention that. I did mention that.
Yeah. So that is, I think, concerning, and that's why the South Koreans have started sending equipment to Ukraine over the past couple of years because they have artillery factories that have been pumping out shells potentially to fight the North Koreans. So they've been sending a constant supply of shells and equipment to Ukraine during this talk as well. So this is, it's slowly starting to drag in, countries like North Korea. It depends on what they are now going to else potentially bring into this, and could, the fact that Trump has very much shown his hand on this, that might this now push, of course, the issue, of course, of Taiwan, in this regard. Might China go for this? There's often talked about the quote, the 2028 deadline, that is like the peak year for like China to take Taiwan. After that, it's going to sort of decline because China's going to start having population problems on that front. So, they're coming up to that deadline potentially, and with Trump doing this, very much showing a massive US weakness, could they decide to go for Taiwan? And then on top of that, could Kim Jong-un say, well, I'll just go for South Korea as well, which could kick off a whole series, of course, of dominoes in that, and could kick off a massive crisis in Asia. So
into the chat
wild.
a little bit. How long did the 100 years war last? Do you know that question, Ollie? How many years did the 100-year war last?
Not as long as 100 years, because it was on and off.
No, it was 116 years. It's a good little pub quiz question, that. Technically speaking. But you're right, it was on and off. Whereas, the war in Korea finished in the 50s and it's still off.
Yeah.
But it could go back on at any time. Is my clock slow? Yes, it is. I need to fix that. But I can't find the little remote control. There's a little remote control to update it. I can't find it. Anyway, it is a bit slow. Maybe I should put it 20 seconds fast so it's exactly what it is when it goes out to people. Or maybe I'm a couple of seconds ahead. That'll frighten Noodle, wouldn't it? Quick question. If Russia was supplied by North Korea and Trump is mates with Putin, why would the triangle be completed by Trump now being besties with North Korea? Well, because that's helping Trump, isn't it? Trump does what he's told by Vladimir Putin. And Putin's like, hey, I want you to lay off Kim Jong-un. So, give him a bit of a boost. And now Kim Jong-un can roam around in North Korea saying, we stopped the Americans helping out the South Korean people who have rebelled against us and our glorious leader back in the 1950s. I don't know. Anyway, should we talk about the USS Abraham Lincoln?
Oh, yeah.
While we talk about it, I've got some footage. From the Abraham Lincoln. I'm just going to play that. I know you can't see it, Ollie, but actually, no. What I'll do is, Ollie, I'll output this so you can actually see the footage and you can describe what's happening as you see it. Okay, these are live scenes from the USS Abraham Lincoln. If you just give me a second to find Geoscope here. Okay, can you see us both there now? Can you see us both? You seeing yourself?
Yeah, I can see myself.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So here we go. Here's the footage here. I'll make it a little bit bigger here. There's a ship's doctor having a look on the ship there. Lincoln from the word called on its own, says this American sailor. And have a look at it. Huge maggots.
far and ignored basic conventional like military wisdom. But of course, this is what Trump has forced them to do. I would not be too surprised if like there's some admirals out there that are absolutely fuming at him and Hegseth for this. So after November, if the Democrats like win and they win the House, I expect a lot of hearings into this, which are going to be very, very interesting to see the results of that. Indeed,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm not holding my breath for that, because I think Trump's going to cheat, and who's going to stop him this time? He was prepared to send an armed mob into the Parliament building and kill anyone who got in their way. That was a few years ago. What's he prepared to do now that he's, at the height of his powers, sort of thing? Could you turn up the video's volume? I can almost hear you. Bloody hell, that's loud. Or way too loud. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that the sound was going out on that. I would have turned it off. Sorry. It was supposed to be a silent movie. Why was the sound on a silent movie? Ollie, what's going on? All I can hear is music. Okay, you can turn your volume up to the normal level. Sorry about that. It's the last time I do a joke with Battleship Potemkin. But yeah, so there's rotten meat. There's warm water, warm salty water to drink on the USS Abraham Lincoln. People are jumping overboard, having to be rescued out of the
two
water.
people have again tried to jump overboard, which goes to show you just how bad like the conditions are that they are doing that. And normally a ship would be out between 30 to 60 days. That is like the maximum, but they've been out for this like over 200 days now.
250 days.
And like over 100 of them, I think over 120 of those days have been in combat, have been in like combat
readiness.
Readiness.
They've got to be on their toes.
So that's even more stress on someone to be constantly in that state of readiness. So this is not good for these people's mental health. I can guarantee you we are going to hear a lot more stories about this in the future. But this does not make Trump look good. This does not make Hegseth look good. It doesn't make any of like this current decision, as always. It makes it just look absolutely
amateur.
Yeah.
But they got a relief boat coming.
Yeah, it's going to take, 3 months?
Yeah, something like that. It's coming from San Diego in California. It's on its way. It's on its way. It's crazy, isn't it? How did we end up here? Oh, they elected Trump. That's how we ended up here.
Yeah, no, it's Trump's bizarre like decision-making process on this, and it's not... I still don't see this going anywhere. I do not see, if you are the Iranians, saying, well, we've got nothing to lose by just letting this continue on for as long as possible.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz is staying shut. Trump has threatened to bomb the ally that is Oman.
Yeah. Oh man.
The time has run out. We had that ceasefire. Remember that? The time's run out.
Oh yeah, that's run out now. Yeah.
So that's run out. Iran's threatened to go a fully offensive. It says it's going to switch from a defensive posture to fully offensive one. I'm fully offensive. I like being offensive. And Brent crude has climbed to $91 a barrel amid fears of further disruption. As at the time of airing on this, no major attack has begun by Tuesday evening. But it might happen anytime now. Biggest wildfires in almost a century in Belgium. Well, no, in over a century. And meanwhile, the refuckfuckers are saying you should just sit back and enjoy the wildfires. Just sit back and toast some marshmallows in the wildfires. Great, isn't it? And they're being supported by Trump and the oil companies and the usual suspects. There's been some shit going on in Afghanistan. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been a 42 children were injured and an explosion at an education centre in Kabul. The pupils were between the age of 10 and 14. and it happened in a predominantly Hazara and Shia neighborhood that's been repeatedly targeted by Islamic State in the past. And why it's worth mentioning this, other than it's a horrible thing that's happened, the Taliban, their big sell was to the people of Afghanistan is we will bring peace.
Yeah.
It'll be a horrible peace where women are treated like shit, and we bring back public.
Well, there is another faction that they've been putting a lot of pressure on Taliban in the north called the Afghan United Front. I think it is the AUN, and they've been really sort of taking it to the Taliban recently. So Taliban is the Afghanistan is going to probably be in a pretty big significant mess for quite a while with these. Like I say, with this new faction, and the Taliban can't seem to handle the fact that they are using the Taliban tactics against them, and they're not liking it. Yeah. So they are having a big problem on that front. So will they retain power? Who knows? But it's a free for all in turning into Afghanistan at the moment.
Yeah. Fucking Martin's pointing out that Pete Hegseth is fucking nuts. Who in the right mind puts a bloke Crusader tattoos all over his torso in charge of defense? Well, Trump, because he's not in his right mind, is he? He's a horrible little fucking tyrant. He's a little gangster, little jab of the slut. That's what he is. Listen, earlier I pinned L's comment there, which is about Jason Arday's. That there's a call for this is from the Good Law Project to demand a public inquiry into the death of Jason Arday and the circumstances leading up to it. If you haven't signed up to it, please do sign up to it. That would be fantastic. Simon says, my uncle served on a flat top off Okinawa in 1945 at the British Pacific Fleet, and he got shore leave, supplies, and ammo. Yeah. And that's one of the mad things, isn't it? It's not like we're in a world war at the moment, and yet they're still not allowed to go ashore.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what Trump's going to do next. They've got it. It's not being ready for the enemy. It's being ready for the commander-in-chief for the next mad thing he's going to tell them to do.
Yep.
Have we mentioned that they're running out of ammo?
Yep. But it's just showing how
running out of rockets.
Unprepared America really is for a potential war. It's sort of, it's sort of gone to China. Well, if you can sort of fight this long against America, potentially you might be able to put them into a very sort of negative situation because you've only had a very really small amount of US power be asserted here, but they fired a lot of stuff. And it has shown, well, if you can be resilient like Iran can be, and you can withstand for like this amount of time, then what position are you going to be able to potentially strike back, or strike back against other US things or US allies within the area? So this has really shown a massive weakness of America, and it's shown that their military, particularly when it comes to logistics, might not be as good as they think. And I think it comes down to just sort of weapon supply on that one, which sort of got highlighted during the Ukraine war at the start of this in 2022. And it's shocking that hasn't, happened. That America didn't seem to heed those calls on that one. But we don't know. Well, we probably know why. It's Trump and Hegseth, of course.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah. There's been a horrible story that's come out of the Philippines of a grade 9 pupil in Zamboanga, which is in Mindanao in the south of the country, who shot dead a grade 10 student before killing himself. And he live streamed it. Using the body cam. And both weapons that he used belonged to his dad, who was a customs official, and they were one of them was his government issued pistol. This is the second Philippine school shooting in less than 2 months, right? And according to Reuters, they're saying, well, that's despite relatively strict gun laws. But we've got to point out here that the Philippines was an American colony for many years. They took it over from the Spanish, and they fucked it up like Americans fuck up everything. And the Spanish gave them Catholicism, and the Americans gave them fucking guns. And I've been to Zamboanga. You go into the supermarket in Zamboanga, right? And there's a little basket for you to put your handguns in before you go shopping. And it's an honor system. It's just like, oh, can you just not carry this around in the shop, please? Thanks. Metal detectors everywhere. And yeah, according to Reuters, they do have strict gun ownership regulation, sorry, including background checks and psychological evaluation requirements. So it just goes to show that, even when you get people like Farage and that saying, oh, what we should do is bring back guns in the UK, but just make sure that only the right people can get guns. Well, this is a case of the right person getting a gun. He was a government official, but then his son stealing the gun off him and murdering someone with the gun. Yeah. All to make money for the American arms manufacturers. If there's ever a massacre in America, as soon as you hear about it, buy some shares in a gun manufacturer, because gun sales go through the roof after every major massacre in America. It's the quickest way for them to make money. I've got my own little conspiracy theory that I think that the gun manufacturers in America, they actually literally cause massacres to happen in order to drive up the value of their stock. Which is pretty fucking Machiavellian, but there you go. What else has been going on? So Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister and cricketer of Pakistan, has been ordered to be transferred from prison to hospital in Islamabad. He suffered significant sight loss in one eye. He's been imprisoned for 3 years now. It was August 2023. He went to jail after a short spell in politics, which ended up with the opposition getting in and then accusing him of some arguably trumped up offences and thrown in jail. It's interesting, isn't it? The people who are actually, there's a witch hunt against them, are actually, failed by the system. The ones who actually go to jail.
Quite, yeah.
And the ones who don't go to jail, like Farage and Trump, they're the ones who the real witch hunt's about. So it's funny that, isn't it? Back to the important topic. Where's the bowler hat man? Says Puninator. Super chat there. Thank you. Earlier you were saying, where's the bowler hat man? Because you went there. But you are now. By the way, we've only got about 15 minutes left of the show. We'll be taking you over to Maximilian's stream after this. So if you want to drop in some super chats, 4 more super chats, and we will have some confetti. And the last person to give the super chat gets to choose which kind of confetti we can have. There's 4 to choose from now. There's normal confetti. There's Boba Fetty. There's Bin Fetty. And then the special Graham Bin Feffy. So up to you what you want, but it has to be the last one who drops.
You could have cornfetti.
Cornfetti. Love it. Bad men have guns, easy to understand. Yeah, just allowing people to have guns is not a good idea. Allowing civilians to have guns, not a good idea. Going back to South Korea, something I was going to mention. The South Korean president has called for the country to become less dependent on the United States. And we talked before about expanding NATO.
Because the war with people do not understand the war with North Korea has not ended, and you've got at the moment a very, very unstable Kim Jong-un who is trying to get his daughter to be proclaimed his successor.
Yeah.
And that's why he had his uncle, flamethrowered to make sure that that would pass. And he's taken a very, very hard war line on this. So that, of course, has made, I think, a lot of people, I think quite rightly, if you are South Korea, I think you'd be quite worried.
Yeah.
With that stance that he is taking on this. So it is of no surprise that they are, I think, going to become, more self-reliant, but it's not surprising because Europe has now also come to that same, realization. There's been talks now, I don't know if people have seen, I think it was from the Times today, Andy Burnham has basically been told, extend, the UK's nuclear umbrella along with France for single market access.
Yeah.
Because if currently the only European powers with nuclear weapons are Russia, France, and us. Now, Germany does have nuclear weapons, but they're not Germany's nuclear weapons. They are America's nuclear weapons that are loaned out to them, but they don't have control over them.
Yeah.
So
But we don't really have
if there's a
control
lot
over
of people
tribal,
saying that
do we?
Trump is going to pull out from Europe,
Yeah.
then so too goes those nuclear weapons. I think we've talked about this before about extending the nuclear weapon like right up to the Baltic states and being going right. If you use a nuclear weapon, you know, we and us and France, we've got nuclear weapons too. We will use them to defend not only the UK and France, but we'll use them to defend Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Poland, Germany, all these other sort of countries in in Europe. So that is something will be very interesting to see what comes of that. If that is just something that's been thrown about, I don't know, but expect I think a lot of countries, particularly mostly because of Trump,
Yeah.
to now go, well, we've had years of very consistent presidents who've said this is what America's foreign policy is. These are our allies. We're going to protect our allies. Trump has come along within 2 terms and has thrown that out, and his potential successors, potentially, the fight between Rubio and, of course, Vance is going to kick off probably within the next year or so. And then generally hope that Marco Rubio wins.
Yeah.
Because at least Marco Rubio is a sane, again, a sane, I say that
I was going to say
massive air quotes.
Sane compared with Trump and Hexeth
Republican
and all the rest of them. Yeah.
When it comes to, American foreign policy.
Yeah.
It might just be rolled back to sort of, the Bush era time period, but that is traditionally what a lot of countries were very sort of familiar with, of course, on this. So, yeah, it's, it's diminishing US power constantly throughout, I think, Trump's second term. And I don't think he's going to do very well in the midterms. I think.
No, I don't. I think he's going to get his arse handed to him, but he's going to cheat. That's the thing. I think he's going to lose badly, but I think he's going to cheat. And he's going to make sure that, he had the fake elector scheme. He's going to do that again.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll get away with it. Like I say, he didn't get away with it last time.
Yeah, because he wasn't ready for it. He's ready for it now. He's got a supine.
I don't think he is. I think it's again. He won't. If he tries something again, he'll get caught, and then the Democrats will be in control. The Republicans are going to want to get rid of him at that point.
No, because they've got the supine
because they don't want him.
They got the Supreme Court. I call it the supine court because they just lay down and take it. Right, that they will do anything he wants. They have to push back now and again, but I think that's just theatre. I think that's just theatre and stuff that doesn't really matter.
But even then, I don't think that will, like I say, I don't think that will fly in America with their constitution and with their laws and their checks and balances. I don't even think
three of the judges, Ollie, three of the judges declared that birthright citizenship wasn't in the Constitution when it damn well is. Well, it's in the amendment to the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. And they went, no, that doesn't count.
Well, and this is it. If they do decide to go with that, they are playing with fire, massively so. And it's at that point, what will happen is, I think this is why I don't think he will be able to cheat at all, because the Republicans do not want to keep him around. They know that this is like after this is it. This is the end of Trump. So they are going to be wanting to go back to at least business as normal. I don't think they're going to want to keep him around.
Yeah, but if it means that they're still in charge forever, they're going to take that opportunity. This is never going to happen again. The Republicans are evil,
think so. I don't think so.
Small-minded motherfuckers, and they want to destroy their own
in the American
democracy.
system. That it's not going to fall down that easily. It's not going to fall down. I don't have any faith
in it. It should have put that man Trump in jail a long time ago, and it didn't, because he's rich and he got away with it, and now he's been voted president again. He's pardoned everyone who's ever committed a crime ever in his favour, because he's a gangster. That's what gangsters do. He's a criminal overlord. He's kingpin from Spider-Man. But yeah, I was going to say, there was a big thing this weekend about John Ossoff, who's running for Congress. He's doing quite well, actually. He'll probably win in his seat. But he mentioned Natalie Harp, who's this woman that we've never really heard about before. But I think we're going to hear a lot about her in the next few weeks. She's a 35-year-old White House official serving as an executive assistant to Donald Trump. And she wrote these really creepy letters to him saying how he was everything to her. And she was one of the very few people that snuck off Air Force One to get onto the other plane and leave everyone else on the decoy. You know,
Yeah.
the Qatari royal jet
Well,
that was given to him.
it wasn't just him though. It's like they left a lot of other officials. I think it was
Yes,
only him.
100 officials, mate. There was
Yeah,
100
it
people
was
left
like
on board. 100.
because it was Trump, Hegseth.
Did Hegseth get off? I know
Yeah,
half
it was
his
Trump and
cabinet was still on
Hegseth,
there.
and they took his social media person with him as well.
But like that
And
was
that
it.
was it. And everyone
That'd be half.
else, official wise, was left on this plane. That
Yeah.
included people like Rubio.
Yes.
Was like left on there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that a lot of people are going to be, sorry to say, very loyal to Trump after that. Like I say, you've seen this resignation that's happened because of that. That was apparently the final straw because they felt that there was this credible threat where Trump left. No one told them why he'd left, and that they were the ones that if a threat had happened, they would have probably died.
Yeah.
And I think that as always with people in power like this, they don't make friends, they don't make allies, they have sycophants who inevitably, in the movies, it's always the bigger sycophant that ends up turning against them because they feel that they have been betrayed or been done hard to in that time. So I think that is potentially what could happen is I think you will probably get at some point a massive Trump sycophant like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like massively anti-Trump.
Yeah, so is Tucker Carlson now.
Yeah, but
Tucker Carlson got
Tucker
interviewed this week
wild.
by who did he get interviewed with this week?
Oh, it was
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
I shit you not. He went on Hunter Biden's fucking podcast or something. Oh, by the way, we go back to Russia for a moment. So he's making friends with North Korea, obviously. Who's he not making friends with this week? Japan. He's turned up at these disputed islands. So at the very top of Japan, you got those little islands off the north of Hokkaido, the top island. These little islands that they're called the
Kurils.
The Kuril Islands. And this is the source of a 150-year spat, feud between Japan and Russia that's been simmering away. And Putin just turns up there. This is why I'm saying the time for making a new NATO is now. Get rid of America, get Japan, get South Korea, get Australia, New Zealand, Singapore. Everyone else who wants to fucking join, bring them on board. Let's do it. And we call it the not board of peace.
You mean OTAN?
we don't get board of peace around that. Yeah. No, the worldwide fucking web of loveliness. The Super Happy Friends group. Call it the Super Happy Friends group. That's what I would do. Anyway, there's a bunch of other stories that we mentioned. Oh, Brad, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. It's very kind of you. It's not difficult to tell what plane Trump is aboard. Just look for the plane, leaving a brown trail behind it. Hey, listen, we've only got 5 minutes left, and we need 3 more super chats, and then we can unleash the confetti. So please, if you are able to, just drop a couple of quid in the super chat fund, and we will have confetti, and Diz will be very, very happy. Ebola. We need to talk about Ebola, the deadliest outbreak ever in Democratic Republic of Congo's history, which is really, really fucking grim. And the death toll is at least 2,325. Apparently, it kills over 40% of the people who get it. And it should have been contained by now, but obviously Trump has pulled out of the World Health Organization and he's cut all US aid through Africa. Shit's still going on in Israel and in Gaza. Another 6 Palestinians were killed on today.
They're still pushing for this disarmament of Hamas.
Yes,
even though it's whether Hamas seems to agree to it one day, then
no, but they've said yes, and Netanyahu said no
another day, and then they don't agree to it, and it's just Jared
Kushner has just completed meetings in Jerusalem and Cairo, but no breakthrough was announced. Kelsa freeze. I just imagine him coming into the room going, "Hey everyone, let's all get together and we'll sort this out, can't we?" And just these people who have been through this so many times.
I just don't understand why you would choose Jared. Well, it's nepotism. It's nepotism. But why would you choose Jared Kushner, who's a real estate guy? It's just why.
He's just one of those preppy idiots who thinks they know how to do everything. You must have met some people in your life who think they can do everything. Do you know what I mean? They're like, they're just an expert at anything that comes along. They were suddenly an expert at it. During COVID, they would have been an expert at epidemiology. You know, that something disaster happens and suddenly they're an expert on earthquakes or volcanoes or whatever it is. He's like one of them. He's like one of these people who come, you know, you got a problem with your car and like, oh, I know everything about cars. I'll sort this out. Give me and you come back and your car's just been fucking dismantled. And he's going, oh, I don't know what I did. You know, we all know someone like Jared Kushner. Maybe not as rich as Jared Kushner, or with a dad who's as evil and corrupt and wanted by the American authorities until Trump gave him a pardon. Do you know why he was wanted by? Do you know why Jared Kushner's dad was wanted by the American authorities? Trading with the enemy, mate. Iran.
Wow.
Iran. Iceland is having a referendum on the 29th of August, end of this month, whether to reopen negotiations to join the European Union. The new Gallup poll, latest Gallup poll has been published, has let's join the EU on 46% and has let's not join the EU on 46%, undecided on 8%. It is absolutely neck and neck. Be interesting if it turns out 52-48 in favour of joining.
Yeah. Milei's having a lot of trouble as well in Argentina. His vice president has now publicly come out and distanced themselves.
Who's this, sorry?
The vice president of Argentina.
Oh God,
Victoria Verua, something like you say it.
Vera Cruz.
That's it.
The true cross. That means.
So she's gone. I ain't had anything to do with your administration because household debt has ballooned. The Argentinian central bank reckons that a lot of Argentinians are now putting off debt repayment, which is putting huge strain on, once again, on the Argentine economy. We've talked about this before, that Milei has sort of planted this bomb in the Argentine economy that could go off at any point, and if it does, it is going to be an absolute disaster zone. So that's, you know, once again, libertarian economic thinking for you. They had this big piece of like land and property legislation that they wanted to like push through. That's had massive public demonstrations and like clashes outside like government buildings. So they've been now massively forced to climb down on this. You've had hundreds of like university and university staff and researchers all complaining about because they've taken away all the funding for science and tech programs in Argentina as well. Yeah. Just, you know, randomly they've decided to sort of do that because, well,
why not?
It's a libertarian government, you know.
Yes.
Why should we fund this type of thing?
Why should we fund anything? Why do other people have to exist?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not going well. And of course, bizarrely enough, his campaign manager has been arrested in Bolivia.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
For what? For being Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Don't know. Into a violent attack against a local political analyst.
That doesn't surprise me. They're just thugs. They're thugs and gangsters. That's what Trump and Mellie and Bolsonaro and all that are. Really good news. We got Wheels Darren gave us a £5 super chat. Thank you very much. What do you mean I don't know everything? Well, there's only one thing you don't know, Darren. What you want to say is, between me and my mate, we know everything. And then if someone asks you a question you don't know, you say, oh, that's what my mate knows. Puninator, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, saying Bin Feffy. And who am I to argue with that? And then we've got Wheels Darren there with the little confetti cannons. Thank you very much for that, Wheels Darren. And it means it gives me great pleasure to do as ordered. I'm going to unleash the Bin Feffy. 3, 2, 1, Bin Feffy! Yay! Bin Face! All hail the giant Bin Face! All hail the giant Bin Face! Yay! Right. Okay, we're gonna have to wrap it up there. I'm sorry that clip from Battleship Potemkin was so. We didn't have any sound. Me and Ollie couldn't hear anything, so we were just like la 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 la, having a chat amongst ourselves. We didn't realize it was blasting out to everyone. So apologies for that. Say hello to Max. If you keep watching, you'll get shunted over to Maximilian's stream. Big thank you to Ollie Bowlerhatman. There's still loads of stuff to talk about, mate. We never get through everything. I've got like 25 stories because there's so much going on in the world, and this is supposed to be the silly season.
Yep.
Yeah. Heaven help us when the sensible season starts. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning for Morning Brew at some point, probably 7:30-ish. So please keep an eye out for that. Do us a favour, give us a like before you go. We've already got about 20 likes, so let's get some more likes in here. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't hit the bell notification icon, give that a little rattle and it'll give you a notification when we are going to go live. As I keep saying, we're a little bit out of sync this month because of the summer holidays. But so pressing that is a little bit more impressing than it was in the past. There you go. Did you like that turn of phrase, Ollie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you very much.
It was all right.
It was all right. Okay, so thanks very much to my wonderful co-host, Ollie Bowlerhatman, who you can find at Bowlerhatman, whose link is in the title of this video if you want to go and subscribe to Ollie's videos, Ollie's channel. Yeah, it's well worth checking out. And until we meet again, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.